I am Cheryse from Archive Charlotte. Today featured on pH Balance Podcast, you have Raven, the owner, founder, and CEO of pH Balance Podcast. And pH stands for Peace and Happiness Balance Podcast, honey. And so Today we are digging into me. This is somebody I've known since kindergarten, and I said I'm doing the intro this time. So welcome, y'all. Grab your popcorn, put your phones up, and listen to us, honey, because we here.
Period. That was good. Ladies, how y'all feeling today? How your pH? Hi, it's your girl Raven with pH Balance Podcast, and today we are back with another video. We are highlighting a Black queen from Charlotte, North Carolina, who is right here on Beatties Ford Road. And we're going to be talking to her about how she started her business, her coffee shop. So Cheryse, say what's up to the people.
Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be here on pH Balance with my long-term friend, Raven.
Yes. So to give you guys a little history, I've actually known Cheryse since kindergarten.
Kindergarten.
Yeah, they said I was her bodyguard in kindergarten. I don't know if I believe that, but that's what
I don't. They say that too. I'm like, was that the truth? Maybe.
They said if Cheryse told me to get them, I was getting them.
She knucky, she booked, so that's probably true.
Yeah. So we are actually from the West Side. So Cheryse, what part of
Hoskins Road.
Okay.
Hoskins Road, Rogers Ferry.
Yeah, and I was Dalton Village. Yeah, and so we went to Behringer together. I was from the hood.
Yeah,
we from the hood. But we actually turned out pretty good.
I think so.
Yes.
I think so.
So Cheryse, if you don't mind telling them, a little bit about your journey, how you got started, because Cheryse owns Archive in Charlotte, and like I said, it's on Beatties Ford Road. So tell us a little bit about how you got started.
Yeah, so Archive is a labor of love. I have been collecting Black memorabilia and having events and, just dealing in nostalgia for a very, very long time. I'm a person that lived the past, so you can always catch me listening to 90s music, 70s music, funkadelics, you name it. I seem like I'm stuck in the past. So, my first business was Vintage Dreams, and I was 21, and I saved money to get me a website done. I had been collecting vintage clothes, thrifting almost every other day, and I wanted to start selling it. So that was my first business, and so I reflect to now. I'm like, wow, I've always been into vintage. I've always been into older stuff, even when I was a child. So I started there, and that was extremely slow. And so I was like, okay, I realized I just love this as a passion. But with collecting the dresses, sometimes I would find a dress that I like, but it wasn't my size. But it was crafted so well, so I wanted to still own it anyway. And it led to curiosity of looking how was this made, looking in the inside and looking how different the clothes are manufactured today versus back then. And that led me to take a sewing class, just so I can reconstruct the dresses and make a pattern to create a modern dress of the thing. And so I think my curiosity and hobbies have always led me into business. Archive, I would say, is different because yes, it is like a interest of mine, the vintage stuff. It's also a third space, a community space. So it's bigger than me. It's not just me, the things that I love. It's a space where people come, they meet, they come on dates, they bring their mom, sometimes we rent it out for events and stuff. So I would say my passion has led me here, but now it has taken legs of its own.
Okay. So why I wanted to interview Cheryse is because, like I said, I've known her for a while and I've watched her over the years from the background. We haven't really kept in touch over the years, but I run into you at the grocery store or I see her doing something on social media, and I'm always like, oh, look at what Cheryse is doing. But, to see a Black woman like yourself doing something big and, your experience with, I don't know if you want to share this, but I'll edit it. Your experience with having a kid in high school, right? You had your first daughter in high school.
And great.
Yeah, so it's stigmas around, when girls in high school, oh, she had a baby, she not gonna do well in life. But you have literally defeated the odds. So, if you don't mind telling us about that, how did that go for you?
Absolutely. So that was 14, got pregnant, made that decision. My mom supported me through that. And I think at the time, I didn't really, I don't think I understood what I was saying yes to.
Right.
Because when you're young, even sometimes now, people who older that doesn't have kids, they think more about having a baby.
Right.
They don't think about a child, like
Right.
raising a child.
Right.
And forever, our lives are going to be answering the needs of another person.
Right.
We think of like a baby shower and holding a baby and whatever. Our mind is fixated on that in particular, when there's so much more to raising kids. My
Right.
oldest daughter is 20 years old.
Right.
And so it has been a long time coming. So I would say it has had its sets of challenges and rewards.
Right.
I've been married, had failed relationships, and, maintained a great co-parenting relationship with my girl's dad. But I am proud that they see me overcoming
Right.
the stigma. I'm proud that they see that, it's more than that. Although I never want them to take this journey,
Amen.
and try to look at it. I am blessed that I was supported by my mom to be able to still graduate high school on time and still be able to pursue different dreams.
Right. So back then, did you even think, what did you want to do? Like when you were in high school or when you were graduating, did you say, okay, I'm going to go to college for this? Or did you know automatically, no, I don't want to do that. I know I want to do hair. Because I know at one point you did hair, right?
Yeah. I did hair because I always have been self-sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
And so early on, I'm like, okay, we was in. I started wholesaling, buying bundles and selling them and sewing hair in. And I loved it. It had the spirit of what Archive has now.
Right.
Like that community, that fellowship vibe. But it's very taxing on your body.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go into my shop sometime at 8 o'clock and wouldn't leave till midnight.
Right.
And so although it was good money, you by the end of the day, your body is wore down. And so once I got pregnant with Bailey, I had to make a decision. Do I want to come back to this after, the leave or whatever? And I realized that I would be doing it for money. Because it's truly it's not my passion. I was getting good at it and I had built a clientele, but I couldn't see myself doing it for a very long time.
Right.
So vintage and, dealing in nostalgia and art, that pulled my heart. And there I was again, back at the sewing machine.
Well, that's what's up. So, like Cheryse, I had my daughter when I was 18. Fresh out of high school, got pregnant. I really didn't know what I wanted in my life. I feel like I really didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. And I still sometimes feel like, what am I doing? But I really didn't know exactly what path I wanted to take until after 25. So sometimes in life, you go through different courses, different relationships, different things that throw your life off track. And so, to highlight this Black woman here in Charlotte who is now on Beatties Ford Road, have her own coffee shop, it was very inspiring to me. So I definitely wanted to have her on PH Mounts podcast to tell us how she got this going. So if you don't mind sharing with us, what gave you the idea to actually open this?
So I was riding in the area and saw that this building had been redeveloped or renovated.
Right.
So historically, this building was originally developed by John McDonald, Mr. McDonald. We know McDonald's cafeteria on further down, but this was the original McDonald's cafeteria. So I was happy to learn that it was still owned by a Black man. My landlord is Black, and so I was very inspired by that and saw the vacancy. And got the quote for it, for what they were doing. I'm like, okay, I can float that. What can I put here? So really the space came first, because I always used to ride around Charlotte like, wow, I ride past all these buildings, I ride past all these businesses, and nothing belongs to me. Why? What makes the next person who owns something different from me?
Right.
They doing it and I'm not.
Right.
I was raised to believe I'm not better than anybody, nobody's better than me. So I was always, unhappy in the corporate world. And just deciding what's next for me, and the only thing that beat a fail is a try. So when I saw the space, I kind of calculated in my head how I can keep this afloat, and felt like I could with the right concept. So originally I'm like, okay, I collected all these books, I collected all these magazines. There is a market for that. I had built an online community based off that. So I'm like, okay, let's bring them a physical experience. So I originally thought it was just going to be a bookstore and vintage store, like vintage goods. And then my broker was like, I don't know. Like, I don't feel like, who's going to come by Ebony Magazine Tuesday in the middle of the day. True enough, I'm like, okay, you're right. So I'm like, well, what can I add in? So as a revenue builder, I added in a coffee offering, a pastry offering, bring people into space. People have a reason to be here, and while they're here, they'll be able to engage with the items that I have for sale, whether it's vintage magazines, ephemera, whether it's merch. And so that's how it came to be. So I originally had no capital to start. I have no loan still. To this day, and so I lean on my online community. So I build an online following based off my interests, and so I did a GoFundMe, and I set out the intention to do 40,000 in 40 days, and the Lord blessed it, and I was able to raise the money, and that's how I opened it. That's how you in here today.
Wow. You know what? I'm amazed because you do have a huge following. Like I watched that to know that you did a GoFundMe.
Yeah, only.
Whoa.
Because I originally, when I was going to put it out there, I was going to do it like tiers. Like, okay, if you donate $100, you get a t-shirt, a bag. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I was like, the Lord is telling me that I need to just have faith in him, put the ask out there, and just have faith. And so, I could have ran a risk of only raising $100. Who knew? Right. I didn't care. And even the people that didn't donate, of course, I was able to see like in real time. And so the people who I was surprised I thought was going to donate wasn't really people donate. Like, right. It's people that come here now that live in other parts of the country. And they like, oh my God, I donated $50. Like, they're happy to be here because they felt like their money contributed to me opening. Like, it was people giving me thousands of dollars who has never even been to Charlotte. They were attracted to the idea that I was bold enough to ask and was doing it. So yeah, that's how I got started.
You know what? And that's amazing because I've started a few businesses myself. And I promise you, I say this all the time. Like, I feel like, and not to be on the negative or anything like that, but I feel like the people closest to me were not the ones that like pushed me or was like my biggest cheerleaders. Yes. But to know that a stranger invested in this.
Yes. And I would like to say that, like, that's what we do think. And that is, Black people feel that way. And I feel like I myself had to get out of that. We didn't create a business for our friends and family.
Right.
And I myself don't support everybody's stuff who I'm closest to. And I'm not a cheerleader. So holding myself accountable in that way led me to understand, like, I need my friends to be my friends. Like, whenever I'm feeling so bad about myself and they know my journey and I could call them and just cry, I need them for that.
Okay.
If they don't come by Foxy Brown, it's okay. I didn't create this for them. Like, it's a very niche thing that I'm into. And so I don't hold them responsible for like keeping it open. I hold them responsible for like being a good friend to me, Cheryse. Because sometimes I need the separation.
Right.
To see my friends in my business all the time, I don't even know if I would want that. And so, but at first I'm like, oh my God. And understand people's financial situation. When I did open, I had friends in here like sweeping stuff up, hanging stuff on the wall. To me, that went way further than $100.
Right.
But it gave the community and it gave like strangers an opportunity to sow their own seed. And you never know what blessing intention they attach to sowing a seed in me that God has answered for them.
And I would say also that even sharing, liking, telling people about it, that's another form of support.
Yes, and all my people did that.
Yeah.
It was shared over 2,000 times. I was very surprised. So initially, I had literally, and I'm not kidding you, I had spent 24 hours writing this long passage telling about my story and me being adopted and all this type of stuff and my love of passion, my love of vintage and all this. And that was going to be the blurb that I put out for people. And one of my closest friends, a former support, she's a professor at Davidson, and she took one look at it, highlighted everything, and pressed delete. And I'm like, oh my God, like I was literally hurt. Like, she's the smartest person that I know. So I'm like, oh my God, I know the grammar was wrong, but Jesus. But she was like, no, you'll have an opportunity to tell your story. She was like, the business idea is good enough. No one needs to know anything about you at all.
They don't want to hear your top story.
She was like, don't even say anything about you. Yeah. It's good enough to say, I want to add something to a part of town that people have abandoned. I want to do books. I want to do history. I want to bring coffee. I need the money for this. And so she validated the business itself and told me to leave myself out of it. And true enough, within 6 months, the Today Show came from New York and did a 5-minute segment on this. So it was a blessing.
Oh, wow. see, I'm learning this stuff as I'm sitting here. You know what's funny? Because I'm listening to you, and on my YouTube, I have like my whole little sob story about my life a little bit on my PH Balance podcast and what motivated me to do it. So now I'm sitting here like, should I rethink?
Yeah, because I didn't see it that way. But it is true. It's like, if we're going to any store and we see something cool, we like it because we like it.
Right.
Now, if we go on and we like it so much that we research and we realize, oh, the owner of this created this because of that as a afterthought is cool to know, but that would never lead us to spend our money or watch something because of that.
Yeah.
So I didn't think of it like that.
Oh, okay. You know what? That is amazing. I'm literally blown away right now that she did a GoFundMe and raised $40,000 to open
in 40
this.
days. Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about your design. Like, how did you come up with everything? Did you have was this all you?
Yes, it's on me. So my house basically looked like this. I've been collecting for so long. Art has always been my thing. Vintage furniture. I have like Eames chairs, Vladimir Kagan. Like, I've always been into architecture, just mid-century design. And I've always been into aesthetics, design. I've been into art. That's always been my thing.
Right.
And so I wanted to create a place that feels like a modern version of your grandmother's house. Right. Like everything don't have to be old. I mean, everything in here doesn't have to be old to convey a warm feeling.
Right.
So, I think everything in here is like, the furniture wise is chic. However, we have a poster of Sammy Davis Jr. or we have a mural on the wall with Angela Davis that tie into the vintage and the nostalgic while still having like clean lines and modern furniture and stuff. So I wanted to have a combination of like comfortable seating, cafe space. We have a community table where people have their book club meetings, or they just sit at the table and work with other people on the laptop. And some people here visiting a family, they might sit on the couch, or be somebody who work remote and they're at the cafe, and so, or a bar. So I want it to be a combination of seating, different shelving, and actually after Wednesday it won't even look like this.
No?
Yeah, I have a whole new design in mind, because I want to start using the space as a gallery as well, and then rotating out different themes and exhibitions. So I'm gonna like switch up the whole wall. The mural will remain the same. And speaking of the mural, so the mural is a lady named Sade Black. This was her first mural. Mm-hmm. So she did this with house paint. And she freehanded it. So I gave her the names of the people I wanted, and she had it come alive. One of my friends, speaking of friends, the Roll Up Charlotte is owned by Jessica Moss, and I had ran out of the $40,000. That's nothing when you're starting a business, because I had to buy machines, I had to get plumbing, pay architects, and so I had ran out of money. Called one of my friends who's into deep in the art world, and asked her, did she know anybody who fund art murals? Like, I wanted to get this mural done. I had got the quote, and she was like, I'll pay for it. How much is it? And she sent the money right then and there for the mural straight to the artist that day.
So you have a wonderful support system.
Oh yeah, my team is strong.
That's beautiful. I love that for
Thank you. It took years. It took years to like find my tribe, but I was open-minded. Like, I'm not a no new friends type of person. I'm not like that.
Me either.
Yeah.
Because some of the friends I've had back then, they ain't here now. But anyway, that's just a part of growth.
That's part of the journey.
That's a part of your journey.
Yeah, you grow in different paths. And I have with a lot of people. And when I see them and able to catch up, it's a beautiful thing. And it's a reflection of where I was and remind me of good memories. But here I am now.
Yes. Oh, this is so wonderful. Okay. So when I came in here to visit, I saw that it was a lot of people in here like doing their homework on their computers or just sitting there reading, and it was just like, so how is the community here? Because I know you said earlier that one reason why you opened this was and did hair, was the community being engaged with other people, developing relationships. So how are the vibes here at Archive?
The vibes are very warm. I would like to say it's not a lot of Charlotteans that frequent Archive. Archive is like where you hear about it, TikTok, or a friend told me about it, or I'm having a meeting here. I think because we're so, like, people who from Charlotte, we really don't have a reason to come on Beatties Ford Road.
Right.
So, like, although people from Charlotte has come here and they have patronized, they don't frequent Archive. Like, nothing didn't tell them to like come on Beatties Ford Road to sit in here.
Right.
We're from here, so it's like, but people that are looking for community, I heard a lot of people say that like when they first moved to Charlotte, they type in black-owned coffee shops. And so they come to like meet other people who may be from Charlotte, figure out like where do black people hang out. Right. So I would like to say like this is people's first stop. This is most black people, this is their first stop when they hit the city. Or if they're visiting, they'll like see content on TikTok. We don't necessarily produce content for Archive, and I've been very strategic about that because I feel like all day we're sold to. We're dancing in front of this and we're doing it. And I don't want to do that.
Right.
I want to create a space that people love and allow the content creators to make content created. I don't want to sell you into Archive. Right. See what the people say.
Right.
And so that's what happened. They look up a hashtag or something like that, and that's what lead them in here. So the community here is like a mixture of like expats or like locals sometime and just like politicians. We have different community members, community leaders. We have students here sometimes. Sometimes the kids from Northwest, they walk over. Mm-hmm. And it's very warm. It's very friendly. We always have some cool nostalgic R&B playlists on. Sometimes you catch the Blue Notes. Sometimes you catch Tony Braxton. You know, we have different artists playing. And so the point of connection is always just looking over and seeing a familiar face or meeting somebody new and learning something new. And, you know, somebody came in here early. A couple came here early that met off at Archive.
Really?
Yeah. And
maybe I need to come in here and meet me somebody.
They came from a cabin this weekend. This was their first stop back in town. They met at Archive like 3 months ago. It's crazy.
What?
I swear. I was like, okay, y'all owe me a finder's fee.
Yeah. So I came here last week to a book. It was like what was it? Something with art. What did the girl have?
Oh yeah. So it was because women was Women's History Month. Okay. We celebrated Black women in art and literature.
Yeah. So it was a lady who wrote a book. What was the name of the book?
I can't think of the book right now.
Yeah.
Because it was one of my staff members. So I empower my staff to have events here. You know, it's one thing to work here, but it's one thing to like build yourself up while you're at a space. Right. And so one of my new staff members, it was her event. And she was able to call in an author that people were currently reading her book. So it was good for them to come and meet her. She was here virtual. Her cousin was here, who's a singer in person. And then we had an artist on the panel as well.
Yes, I definitely connected with the singer because I thought, okay, I want to have you come on. But so Cheryse, what would you tell anyone who wants to start a business, any type of business? Like, what encouraging words would you give them or advice?
To just do it. Like, whether it's moving out of town, starting a business, or something that seems scary. Say you like, okay, me doing the 40,000 in 40 days, me open this. Okay, it could have been somebody donated $200. I could have got open and it been in here only 2 months. What's the worst that can happen? I just do what I know. I just go get a job at the bank.
Right.
Like it's really like only thing beat a fail is a try, and it's not really a fail because if you attempted something and it don't succeed, then you're coming back at it with a different set of knowledge. You'll know what not to do. And so I feel like the worst thing that can happen is that it just don't work out and you go get a job and you go, try something again. So I say just do it. Do it with the resources that you have now. Like, yeah, I didn't have any money. What do I have available to me? The internet. I had GoFundMe, which they take a fee. And then I have social media. So I'm like able to like talk directly to a community of people that I've built. So, using the things that we have around us to create something is really all you need. Like you don't feel like you need more than you have to do what you want to do. You do what you want to do and keep trying at it and keep investing in it. It works out. There's never been a time where it haven't worked out for me in that way.
Well, that is so wonderful. I love this for you.
Thank you.
So if you are in Charlotte, if you're from Charlotte, come support our girl, okay? Please. Because she is from here. She's doing something big right here on Beatties Ford Road in the hood. Yes, it's still the hood, even though they're trying to change our So come over here and to Archive and see Cheryse. And if you saw her on my podcast, make sure you let her know, hey, I saw you on my podcast, so Please. I came to check you out. Please. So thank you guys so much for watching PH Balance Podcast. And thank you so much, Cheryse, for being a part of this.
Thank you. Come. Archive Charlotte. You can find us at archive_CLT on social media. Right. And I'm at 2023 Beatties Ford Road, Suite 500. So, yes, come through. Yes. Thank you, Raven, for having me. This was so beautiful.
Anytime. I'm so proud of you, girl.
Thank you.
Keep doing it.
Thank you.
Peace out.
Bye-bye.